Hi guys, hi guys, hi guys, hi guys. How are we doing today? So, on today's episode of my experience as a new immigrant in the US, I just want to share a bit of experience that we had, as new immigrants in the US. So, actually, we've been here for, I think, in 5 days, we're going to be a month. Yeah, we're going to be a month here in the US. So a lot have been happening, anyways. But then I just want to share a few, basically the experience we had yesterday. So yesterday, when we came in, my concierge actually took me to a Verizon office. Verizon is an internet provider, just like we have different internet providers. So here we have Verizon, we have Boost, we have AT&T, and then we also have T-Mobile. So when I came in on the 25th, on the 26th, my concierge actually took me to a Verizon office. Now, prior to my arrival, I learned that we should rather go for AT&T or T-Mobile. So when I asked my concierge that, I prefer to go to AT&T or T-Mobile, she said the closest to us was the Verizon. So we actually went there. And when we went there, the phone, like I said in my previous experience session, the episode one, the phone that we came in here did not match with the connection here. It's a phone that is made for a specific region. So we had to get a phone. I got the phone for $1. Yeah, a prepaid plan. So I got the phone for $1. Yeah, that was how much I got the phone for, $1. And then paid for activation. I think it was about 30 something dollars. And subscribe. Being a prepaid plan, you have to pay before the subscription. So I was charged $70 for the subscription. So everything was about 100 and something dollars. Now, at this point, we have gotten our social security card. Yeah, so once you come to the US, you have to get a social security card. It's about, I think, 9 numbers that specifically has to do with you. Like it has your information. So everywhere you go, you often hear people say your socials. So they are requesting for this particular number. Yeah, so after like a few weeks, our socials actually arrived. I think after 2 weeks or so, our social arrived after 2 weeks, and at that point, we felt we were ready to get a postpaid plan. So we have been busy trying to settle in, trying to get our driver's license. We went for driving tests. Yeah, so yesterday we decided to, try and get, because I was the only person that actually got a SIM. My husband couldn't at that point. So we were like, okay, you know what? Let us try getting a SIM. My husband should get one. I get one. So we're looking at getting two SIMs for myself and my husband, because we're beginning to, settle in. So when we went yesterday, you know, um I told them I was trying to migrate or transfer from the Verizon I did when we arrived here earlier to AT&T. For some reasons, most persons say AT&T has a good internet, and their plan is much more affordable. So we're trying to, migrate from or transfer from the Verizon I did when we arrived here to AT&T. So when we went to AT&T store yesterday, we also wanted to trade the phone I got for $1. I actually got the phone for $1. It's crazy. But actually, that's what I was charged for that phone. Yeah. So when we went there yesterday, after all the processing, and another thing I discovered here, do you know that as a professional person, a first responder, you are privileged to get a subsidized rate? Whoa, this person pays so much attention to details. That's one thing I appreciate in the US. So I had to create a first net account as a nurse for me to be able to, have this subsidized rate. So you have to create the first net account. You also have to, input your information, your workplace, your work ID, and everything before you're able to be successful with this account creation. So when we arrived yesterday, we tried fixing all this up. And when it was time for us to, get this, they asked, it was taking too long at that time. So I was forced to ask, what is the problem? So they said, because we do not have a credit record. So, credit record means you get a credit card and that account is credited, you use it for whatever purpose you want, and at the end of the month, you should be able to repay. So, that will help you to have a good credit record. So they said we have to register from some bureau companies or credit companies like that, and they wrote about three for us to, try and register with them. So because of that, we couldn't get our SIM card yesterday. And also, apart from the that, another shocking thing for me is the fact that you can simply this phone I got for $1, I can simply trade it in to get um a new Samsung phone. Yes. So I've always been eyeing Samsung S25 Ultra. You know, it's one of the phone that I've been eyeing. So I'm getting here. I realized that if you have any phone, you can actually trade that phone in. So they will check what the cost price for your phone that you're trading in is, and they will get the phone and give you whatever phone that you desire, and you'll be paying them monthly. That's if the phone that you're trading in is not the same amount with the phone that you want to get. So when we checked that yesterday, we saw that we can get S24, S25 Ultra, that's Samsung, and then we could also get S25 Plus. So if you're getting S25 Plus, you're not going to pay anything because it was equivalent to our phones that we're trying to trade in. But then if you're actually trading, if we're getting S25 Ultra, then we'll have to pay, I think it was about $300, and that is spread in a period of like 3 years, which is 36 months. So that has been my experience so far. I would be coming up here often to share the experiences I'm having here. Yeah, another shocking thing I also experienced in this 3 weeks of being here is the fact that, before relocating to the US, I've always been hearing of, people keep things outside for other persons to pick up, So I was like, is this real? Does it really work this way? So when I arrived here, right outside building is where people dump things, you can just walk in and pick. And most of these things are very new. Like some of the furnitures we saw out there, they're actually very new furniture. So anybody can just pick it up if you have a need for it. So life is actually made easier. Yeah, a bit easier here. The thing is you just have to work and pay your bills. Yeah. So that's the beauty of being here. So thank you so much for joining my session. I'll be keeping us posted on my experiences ever since I arrived here. See you in my next live session as I'll be talking about something different from this. Thank you. I love you all. Bye.